Eczema, a chronic inflammatory skin condition, making lives difficult to a rising amount of people. Today we are about to answer a couple most common questions, like why does eczema develop in human body? What are the two reasons for eczema to appear on skin? Why does every doctor say eczema can't be cured? And how do we actually cure it? Role of genetics. Why does eczema develop in human body?
Eczema can be described as a result of increased sensitivity to inflammation. While the inflammation presents itself through eczema on skin, it is present in the entire body to different extent. The more severe the inflammation, the more conditions tend to be present in the body. The most common conditions are eczema, demonstrating inflammation through skin, asthma, demonstrating inflammation through lungs, and allergies, demonstrating overall overload of our immune system. At first, this increased sensitivity might be frustrating and make our lives more difficult, but it also provides valuable feedback about overall state of our health. This often provides the initial impulse to improve our health by eating healthier foods, exercising more often, and creating healthier lifestyle habits. Unfortunately, this genetic predisposition is given and can't be changed. That said, we can still live eczema-free life if we give our body all it needs to be healthy.
Now that we understand a little bit more about eczema and inflammation, let's answer the question, why does every doctor say eczema can't be cured?
Doctors are so focused on treating the symptoms that they are ignoring the underlying issue. Traditional treatments span from topical corticosteroids and antihistamines to phototherapy and regular moisturizers. The range of treatments for eczema used traditionally is quite decent. Use of these traditional treatments results in temporary improvement of your eczema, but inevitably leads to its return, since the underlying issue is not addressed. So, how do we solve the underlying issue?
Enjoying the video so far? Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. It allows us to help even more people. What causes eczema? 2 reasons.
For eczema to develop in human body, there needs to be a disbalance. You either have to lack certain key nutrients, or overload your body with food it can't handle properly, triggering inflammation and immune response. Let's get nerdy and go more in depth on both. Starting with the first reason, the lack of certain key nutrients. When this happens, considering our genetic predisposition, the result will be development of eczema patches on our skin. The good news here is that it is fairly easy to fix and let the eczema improve and disappear over time.
Now you might wonder, what are these key nutrients then? Let's go through the 3 most important ones.
By far the most important key nutrient for people with eczema is omega-3 in sufficient amounts. Eczema being chronic inflammatory condition, it requires you to consume anti-inflammatory foods to balance the inflammation sensitivity of our body. When you lack enough anti-inflammatory omega-3s, your body is left with slightly inflammatory omega-6 fats and highly inflammatory saturated fats, both supporting further development of inflammation and eczema. Having enough omega-3 fats will result in establishing more balanced and anti-inflammatory state, essential for curing eczema. On top of that, omega-3s are essential for maintaining proper barrier function of the skin, protecting skin from the outside environment and damage. Second key nutrient to be aware of is surprisingly water. Optimal hydration plays a crucial role when it comes to eczema. Not being hydrated enough causes your eczema to be dry, itchy, cracking, quite often resulting in flare-ups. With the help of omega-3s, proper hydration will keep your skin barrier functioning optimally. To top it all off, hydration also has major effect on speed at which your eczema is healed. Final key nutrient is collagen. While omega-3 and water are working on keeping your skin protected and functioning correctly, collagen is providing the building blocks for the skin to be built in the first place. Without enough collagen, your skin will be weak, thin, and much more fragile. Having enough collagen also greatly influences the speed and quality at which your skin is repaired. The second main reason for eczema to develop on our skin is overloading your body. While majority of problems connected to skin are caused by not having enough of certain nutrients for your body to use, there are few nutrients which you want to eat in moderation or avoid completely. Understanding intolerances is very important here. People with eczema are often much more sensitive to different foods, making understanding how this concept works essential for curing eczema. Getting rid of foods which are not tolerated by your body, or reducing the intake to tolerable level, is absolutely essential. If your body is overloaded by foods which are not tolerated well, each time this food is consumed, your inflammation rises and immune system gets triggered, causing havoc and further disbalance. The second very common cause for eczema development is saturated fat. Saturated fat is pro-inflammatory type of fat, which is fairly well tolerated by most people. Unfortunately for people with eczema, being more sensitive to inflammation means increased sensitivity to saturated fat, or to be more precise, the inflammation which follows consumption of saturated fat. The good news is that our body can create all the saturated fat it needs, so we don't need to consume it. The bad news is that saturated fat is part of almost everything we eat, most concentrated in animal products. That is also the reason why reducing milk and dairy products is so helpful to anyone with eczema.
Symptoms. Is your eczema getting better or worse?
Now, with regards to symptoms, we have all heard that eczema symptoms include red, itchy, inflamed patches of dry skin. That is nothing new, but is there a way to tell if your eczema is getting better or worse? Let's divide eczema into 3 basic states. If eczema is red, itchy, and inflamed, there is no doubt it is getting worse. If your eczema is just dry, color is close to the skin color, some would describe it as dark pink or light purple, your eczema is calmed and your skin is healing. Third state could be called temporary, and as the name suggests, eczema in this state is not inflamed, it's not very red, it might just be slightly itchy. This can happen quite regularly after a shower, if you slightly overeat, or when you eat small amount of food which is bad for eczema. In all cases, the cause was not strong enough to trigger eczema flare-up. Your eczema will be slightly irritated for some time, but overall remains calmed and ready for healing to continue.
Basic rules. Follow these to prevent flare-ups.
When you are showering, using a warm water instead of hot water will prevent skin irritation. If the water is too hot, it causes eczema to itch and inflammation to get worse. Using adequate water temperature is not the only thing to keep an eye on. Always remember to use moisturizer after you bath or shower to lock moisture in and calm the skin down. The issue here is not the water itself, but chlorine, which is used to keep the water clean. Unfortunately, chlorine is causing the skin to be irritated, dry and itchy. All these issues can be solved by simply applying a moisturizer. 2 little tips about clothing. Wear soft, breathable fabrics like cotton to prevent excess sweating, which can irritate skin, and avoid wool, which is often quite itchy and may be another reason for irritated skin. Exercise is an important part of your fight against eczema, since it can decrease inflammation. While exercise is amazing when it comes to long-term effects, short-term effects can cause your skin to become inflamed and irritated. The key here is to not overload your body with too much or too intense exercise, since both would increase inflammation and immune system load. It is a great idea to give your body sufficient nutrition and rest to make exercise have a positive impact on your eczema. Being balanced not only physically, but also emotionally is fairly important. Techniques such as meditation, yoga, and deep breathing can help manage stress and prevent flare-ups.
Now that we understand much more about eczema, how do we actually cure it?
To cure eczema, your body needs to be in balance. It can't be overloaded or lack certain key nutrients. That is the only way to balance our genetic inflammation sensitivity. So what should you do to cure eczema? To answer this question properly, here is video called 10 Steps to Cure Eczema, which provides not only step-by-step guide, but also explains how each step helps you in your fight against eczema.